Hi everybody, this is Barry with Knitting for Love, and today we're going into making these cute, adorable little slippers that I am actually wearing over my socks because they help keep the bottom of my feet warm because, yes, I don't like wearing shoes around the house, so I kind of wear my socks. So as you can tell, I've added little pom-poms, and these won't fall off. You can tell the heel is very nice. They look like little ballerina slippers. And they are quite small when you get ready to make one. As you can tell, they look tiny, but they do stretch. So we're going to get into that in a moment. See you in a moment. Hi everyone, this is Barry from Knitting for Love, and today's video is a slipper. And you can make these easy little slippers by using a single, I should use a single cast on, which is make your little slip knot, and then you're going to cast on 15. So just figure out which one is going to tighten this. They're not too tight. And I'm going to cast on using the single method. So that's 1, 2, and 15. So I have my 15 stitches, and now I'm going to knit, and you can do either knit and on both sides, which I am going to do knit on both sides. So I'm going to knit all the way across this first row, and the first row is always hard to see, especially if I'm using a dark color like this. But if you need videos on how to knit and how to purl and how to cast on, even supplies, I have videos already up on my channel for these methods. Now you can use any stitch you want with this. I particularly like the garter stitch for this, so it's knit on both sides of the work, which makes it look like a purl on both sides of the work. So we're going to use the wrap and turn method, and we're going to wrap and turn, leaving 5 stitches on each side. So we're going to knit the first one, because this is actually the toe of the slipper. So I'm going to knit until I get to the last stitch. And then we're going to wrap and turn that last stitch. So I've got 2 on, I'm going to knit that one, and now I'm going to bring the yarn forward, put this on the needle, bring the yarn back. Don't switch hands yet because you may get confused before you finish this whole process, and then slip that stitch onto that hook, onto that needle. And then you're going to repeat this until you have 5 stitches here and 5 stitches here. We'll return in a bit. So I'm back, and I have my 5 stitches here that have wraps and turns on them. You can see how you can physically see them, and I have 5 on this side. So now what we're going to do is we're going to work in reverse. We're going to knit each stitch and then wrap and turn. So if I'm going to do this, I'm going to knit all the way until I have my 5th stitch from the end. Okay, and then I'm going to knit the 5th one from the end as normal, and then I'm going to wrap and turn number 4. And then slip that one back on here. I mean, because I'm doing the garter stitch, I'm going to bring this back around, so when I turn my work, my yarn is in the right area. So now that I have 4 here, I need to do the same on this side. So I'm going to continue to work all the way down till I have no wrap and turns left on my needles. And I have finished my little wrap and turn. So now you can see it's actually like a little cup. And I am ready, as you can tell, it's on this side. That I'm ready to pick up these 15 stitches here. Now, if you're not good with picking up stitches and you can't see where you need to pick up, if you have a crochet hook, you can just slide your crochet hook in there and bring it through, and you can pick up your stitches that way. But the reason why I did the single cast on method is to allow you can see the little holes along here. Most people would use a provisional cast on, which I do have a video uploaded on my channel for that. I particularly don't use the provisional cast on. I just slip my stitches in there and pick them up from there. But as you can tell, I'm also having a hard time because one, I have my nails are very long, so I'm picking these stitches up, one in each loop, and that will give me 15 once I get all the way across. Again, you can use a crochet hook. I'll show you that again. Is you can actually just use the hook to pull it through and on, and you can put it on your needle that way. But it's up to you. I happen to like this crochet hook method better because I don't split any stitches. So as you can tell, I'm just pulling it tight once I get it on the needle. And there you have it. So I will return. Well, let me just finish this. We can just keep on going. So I'm just going to pick up all these stitches. It's very difficult when you have long nails. You're trying to pick up these stitches inside those loops that are across the top. And I am knitting in a different style at the moment. This is how I would speed knit normally. But because I grew my nails out, speed knitting is out of the question for me now because, as you can tell, it's not very speedy at all. And I get to the last over here. And I'm just going to pick up a stitch. So I might have more than 15 here, but we don't want a hole at the end. So now I've got all my stitches. I'm actually missing one, so I'm going to pick up another one. I have 15 now. And I'm actually going to divide this set of stitches. So I'm going to put 7 on one side and 8 on the other. So I've got my third needle. And I'm just going to knit those. Across. So you should have 8 here, 7 here, and 15 here. So what I suggest now is we're going to stop knitting in the round, and then we're going to go back and forth, leaving the opening for our little top of our foot. So you would decrease 2 on each side, here and here. So I would knit the first 2 together, go around, knit 2 together, go around, knit this one together, go around, knit this one over here, go around. Do not knit 2 on the same round, or else you're going to spread out quicker. That's up to you if you want to do that. I feel that alternating the needles, decreasing, will give it a nice little curve along the foot, and we're just going to decrease until we have 3 stitches here, and well, I would say 4 stitches here and 4 stitches here. Okay, so remember, when you start knitting this row, you're going to, and I like to knit the first one and then do the decrease, and then wait till I'm on 3, and then do a decrease, and then knit the last one. So, let's see, find there's my 4th needle, and I will show you what I mean. Is I'm going to knit this first one, and then I'm going to knit these 2 together. And double pointed needles can be fiddly. You can do these on circular needles. It probably would be an easier choice, but my circular needles are occupied with a different sock on them, so I have to use what I have. Plus, this is a bigger size for the type of yarn I'm using, because it's a medium weight yarn, so I want to use a higher size in needles. Alright, so as you can tell, I stuffed my tail down inside the toe area. So I'm just going to knit all of these all the way across. And try not to split your stitches. And the ones that you pick up in the same way that I picked up, they could be turned. So what I normally do is, if I'm turned, I'll knit in the back, and then I'll turn them manually and put them back on the needle. But as you can tell, this is quite and then trying to do this under camera is like, And I'm doing it while looking through the camera, so there, that's the last one. So now I'm going to knit on this needle till the 3rd, leaving 3 stitches on the needle. So it's knitting all the way to the 3rd one from the end, so I have 3. So I'm going to knit all of these. Like I said before, I don't do it on the same round. I do it alternate rounds. So now that I've knitted all of those, now I'm going to turn my work, because I don't want to knit in a round. Now I want to go back and forth for the length of my foot. Again, now I'm going to decrease 2 here. So I'm going to knit the first one. And then knit 2 together. And I'm only going to do this at the beginning of each row. And since I'm going back and forth, you notice that I will knit all the way around, and then turn my work again, and then do the decrease on the other needle. Because it will be, when I turn it, it will be the beginning. Alright, so I will see you back when we have 4 stitches left on each side. So that's a few more decreases. See you soon. Okay, so I have finished, and I have 4 stitches remaining on both of these 2 needles, and I have all of my stitches remaining on that needle. So I should have a total of 15 plus 8 is 23 stitches. So I have 23 stitches, and you see we have a nice little opening, and we alternated the rows so it makes a little curve instead of a sharp V. It's going to make a little curve. So now we're going to knit until we get to our ankle. And this could be whatever size you are. You can actually just keep trying it on, stick your foot in there, make sure you got enough, and keep knitting until the bend of your ankle is where your heel will begin. And we will go into how to end off the heel. That way you have this cute little slipper. And I'm actually going to put a pom-pom right here on mine, right at the beginning, just to make them little slipper socks with pom-poms. But that'll be later. And I will go into how to make a pom-pom in this video once I do the pom-pom. So see you when you reach the ankle. Talk to you later. Bye. Okay, so I have finished the length, and as you can tell, it is kind of short. I do have a small foot. But, however, this is meant to stretch. So basically, when you try it on, I want you to stretch it to your ankle. That way, it's not real super loose on you, but it should fit really snug. So, now for the heel, I'm going to increase my stitches at the beginning of each row. So I'm going to do the front and back. So I'm going to knit 1 and then knit the front, and knit the back and pull it off. And I'm going to knit all the way across all my stitches. And yes, this can be fiddly. And I'm also tangled. And once I've knit all the way across, I'm going to keep turning. And then I'm going to create another stitch by knitting front and back in the beginning of the next row. So I'm alternating sides again, which side gets the increase. And I'm going to do it until my 2 needles in the front have 15 stitches on them again. That way I'm back at the same point I was before. And then we're going to just do a simple bind off and create our pom-pom. So see you back when we have finished when we're back at 15 and 15. Bye now. Okay, so now I'm back with 15 and 15, and I did a simple bind off here. And as you can tell, here's the opening. And what you're going to do is you're going to leave enough tail after you've bound off to sew right down the back. So I'm just going to do a whip stitch down the back of the heel. And I'm just going to sew this down because this is actually the inside of the little slipper. So I'm just going to sew this. And you can go in every stitch you want to just reassure that it fits and that it will stay closed. And that's it. Okay, so I'm almost done. And this is a very quick and simple little, oops, needle came off. Very quick and simple little gift idea even, if you know somebody who, loves socks and just likes to have something warm on their feet all times. When I'm in the house, I usually don't wear shoes, so I walk around with my socks, and this also helps protect your good socks. So, I'm just gonna sew it all the way down to the end, and then I'm going to give it a little knot here, and then I'll weave in and out of the edge. I'm going to weave the ends in and out. So now that won't come out. And there we have a cute little sock. And so I'm just going to weave these ends in. And as you can tell, that is pretty small. It's almost the same length as my hand, but it does give a lot of stretch. And what I like the fact that when it stretches like this, it's not coming off my foot at all. I like how snug it is. So for those who don't, I'm going to put pom-poms on the ends of mine. So I'm just going to make a quick little pom-pom here. And I'm just going to take 3 fingers. And I'm just going to wrap as much as I can around the 3 fingers. As you can tell, I like a nice full pom-pom. And the amount of times you wrap depends on you. I mean, I like them fluffy and full. So when I get ready to snip them and shave them, and that can be a very addictive thing to do, because basically you don't ever stop shredding. So I've done that, and I'm just going to take this off my hand, and I'm just going to lay this down like so. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this string, this yarn here, I'm going to cut that. Now I'm going to take this and center it. Let's get it on camera. Good, so you can see it. And I'm going to tie this. Now, I have pom-pom makers, and to me, I just don't get enough yarn on those for my liking. So I'm just going to tie this. And tie as tight as you can without breaking the yarn. And then I flip it over and I tie it again. And again, I'm going to tie it as tight as I can without breaking the yarn. There. I'm just going to do another one, just for good measure. Okay, so now I have my yarn done in a little pom-pom. I'm going to take my ends and I'm just going to cut around. I'm going to grab my loops and I'm just going to go around. And this is the fun part now, because I actually like shaving pom-poms. It's fun to me. I made 100 pom-poms for little rabbit tails every year for the past 2 years, and when I'm done, I have like this ton of shavings, which I do keep the shavings for stuffing little toy stuffed animals. They make perfect stuffing if you don't want to use the fiber fill. You can use a old pantyhose and you can stuff them, all these little cuttings. And now what we're going to do is we're going to just beat them up a little. So it'll kind of take shape here. And then we're going to shave. And this is the part I like. I like to cut the pom-pom up. And then sometimes you just gotta know when to stop, though, because you can get a little too far and your pom-pom won't be a pom-pom anymore. It'll just be like a little tiny object that was once a pom-pom. And then you got to start all over. Of course, you find little strings you don't cut here. And so I usually like to start at the bottom and work my way up to the top. And I'm getting to the point where I'm going to need to stop cutting him because this gets a little... You'll never make a perfect pom-pom. There's no such thing as a perfect pom-pom. I mean, the more you cut, the more you'll find little pieces that are sticking out. Every time you look at it at a different angle, there's always something that needs to be cut. So basically, you just kind of get to a point where you just need to put the scissors down. And I am at that point. So, and as you can tell, there's a string. Okay, I'm not going to cut anymore. But here is a pom-pom. Now, I'll have to brush that off of here later. Probably should have put down a napkin or something, because now I have blue lint all over my little white cloth here that keeps my stuff from rolling around. Not like my first video, where I had my knitting needles rolling all over the place. Huh. It's funny. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our tapestry needle here, and we're going to thread it, and then what I like doing is I like to take one in one side, and then we get the other one and we put it in the other side, and now we have a cute little pom-pom on our slippers. And I will tie this on to secure it and then sew in the edges. Okay, so there you have it. So this is a cute little slipper. As you can tell, I will put them on later and let you see what they look like. Well, I hope you like this. Happy knitting, and please like, subscribe, share with your friends, and I will see you in the next video. Bye now. Happy knitting.